Are you considering writing your memoir during the pandemic while we're home and it's wintertime in many places? It's something I advocate that everyone should write their life story, and this is especially a good time to do so while you may have extra time, no more commuting to work if you're working at home, or if you've just decided that the pandemic has underscored the fact that life is short, life is unpredictable, and if you're going to write that book you've been thinking about, talking about for years, the time is now. So, I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and I am CEO of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, the company I started with my sister 5 years ago. Next month, we are celebrating 27 books that we've written and published. Some people have written their own books and we published them, but we've published 27 books. One of them was celebrated tonight as the first selection of the Detroit Writing Room's book club. Stephanie Steinberg, the founder of the Detroit Writing Room, who I interviewed on my show, Boss Up Goddess, here on the channel, is you can watch her interview here and I'll put the link in the description box. So she's awesome. She had a vision to start this writing space in the city, and it's partly very much linked to the legacy that former Detroit Mayor Dennis Archer left by reviving our city. Our city used to be the butt of jokes. Detroit was synonymous with crime and poverty and all kinds of other problems, race problems. And so tonight, I'm talking with you about 3 things you should consider if you're writing your memoir. Because tonight on the Detroit Writing Room's book club, we celebrated the legacy of former Detroit Mayor Dennis Archer in his memoir that I helped him write. So you can see there's his portrait, and this is the title, Let the Future Begin. And we wrote it together, and it took 2 years. And we talked about the process of writing the book, why he wrote the book, the impact that it's had, and the meaning behind it. And so I just want to share with you, just in case you are considering writing your memoir during the pandemic, which I highly recommend that you do. And lots of people are coming to us to either write their book or publish their book or let me coach them through writing their book because they realize the time is now. So tonight's show on Boss Up Goddess, which is starting a little later than usual because of this event, I'm sharing with you 3 things to consider when writing your memoir. First and foremost is understand your why. Know why you're writing your memoir. What's calling was your heart, your soul. Other people are telling you you should write a book. A lot of people use that as their motivation, and then they start doing it and they're like, oh, okay, good. I agree. This is what I should be doing right now. Mayor Archer's why for writing his book was very clear. He wanted to tell his story for his grandsons, who are now teenagers. He wanted to tell his story so that they would have it in his words. The media had told his story, and he wanted to tell his own story his way. And it's an amazing story. It's someone who was raised in a house with no running water and went on to become a global leader as mayor and as the first person of color to be president of the American Bar Association, which includes 400,000 lawyers across America and the world, an organization that once banned Black membership. So his reason, his why for writing the book was to tell his story for his grandsons. Very clear, very important. This is his legacy, this is his life, and it will live on forever between the covers of this book. So that's a really powerful reason. Some people want to write a memoir because they think if they share their story, they're going to make a lot of money, go on a speaking circuit. That's all wonderful. They want the fanfare, the bestseller list. They want the money. Whatever your motivation is, that's fine. Just understand why you're doing it, because when it took 2 years to write this book, and it's a lot of work. I interviewed more than 24 people, and I printed out all the interviews just to stay organized, and I put them in this binder with these colored dividers. So, I mean, this is a very thick binder full of all of the interviews. It's a lot of work, but that kept me, as the writer, that kept me very focused and I had everything in front of me. And so that was really awesome. And that leads into point number 2. If you need help writing your book, if you're not a writer or you don't have time or you don't want to invest the energy into it, which is a lot, you need to collaborate with someone. You could hire a ghostwriter. I like to call it angel writer. You could hire someone to write it for you. You can work in collaboration with a writer. You can have a book coach to guide you through the process. But if you feel that you're not able, either for the time or you don't have the talent, whatever it is, you can get help. And there's all kinds of ways to get help writing your book. You can drop me a comment here and I'll guide you and give you some advice that you might need to help you find the right person to help you through the process. So, number 1 is know your why. Number 2 is get help, collaborate with someone. Interestingly, a lot of the people who were participating in the event this evening asked questions about the collaboration. They're like, how did that work? I also wrote a book with Billy D. Williams, the actor, called Twilight. It's a love story, not the vampire story. And it was awesome collaborating with him. So if you do collaborate with someone, you need to make sure you vibe really well. There has to be a lot of trust because um, you're trusting this intellectual property, you're trusting ideas, you're trusting the workflow, everybody's upholding their responsibilities in the partnership. And so that's really important. And also, if you have any disagreements, if you have a good vibe, then you can work them out diplomatically. And hopefully they won't have any disagreements. I don't have that issue with people I work with because we just get along really, really well and share that creative synergy and the vision for the project. But again, make sure if you collaborate with someone, you really get along with them, you know them, or you've got a really strong referral from someone who worked with them, who can vouch for their character and their trustworthiness and such. Very important. And then that gets into number 3. When you do write your memoir, Mayor Archer's one of his main points was that he didn't want it to be me, I. He wanted it to be very much about other people telling the stories, because a lot of times other people can provide a perspective and depth and texture to stories that's different from what you may say. And it's also really fun to have the variety of storytellers in the book telling the story from their perspective. And so it also like decreases the braggadociousness if you have other people in the book that you've interviewed talking about all your accomplishments and praising that instead of you saying, yes, and I did this and I did that. No, it's really cool as the reader to have all these different voices. So I took those 24 plus people, wove them all together, and they told the story interwoven with Mayor Archer's first person narrative. So when you incorporate other people's stories, it adds richness, texture, engagement for your reader and variety. And at the same time, while you're integrating other people's stories with interviews, you should also make sure you keep it conversational. Keep it conversational. Some of the participants tonight, they said the reason they liked the book was that it was very conversational and it was not verbose. Sometimes memoirs sometimes can be that way, too wordy, but I say less is more, and you just keep it conversational, like the person is talking to you, like Mayor Archer is telling you a story, the other people are telling you a story, and that's my skill of being able to perform literary liposuction to keep it lean, so you just get that point across. The writing is high energy, tight, concise, and it packs a powerful packs a powerful punch. And so being conversational is really important. And that's one reason people love my mother's book, The Triumph of Rosemary, a memoir by Judge Marilyn E. Atkins. They say it feels like she was talking to me. People say that all the time. They say it felt like she was just telling me her story. And so make sure you know your why. You get the help with a collaborator, a writer if you need it, or a coach, or a ghostwriter even, or an angel writer. I don't like the word ghostwriter. I like angel writer. And thirdly, make sure that you engage other people by interviewing them and keeping it very conversational. Those are really, really important 3 things you should consider when writing your memoir. If you have other questions about how to write a memoir, I've written a lot of memoirs for executives, lawyers, doctors, other leaders. And I absolutely love telling people stories. I am a literary chameleon. I consider it a gift that I'm able to sort of channel that person's voice and write as if I am Mayor Archer, or I am the doctor, or I am whoever I'm writing for. That is a gift that I believe is rooted in my multicultural, multiracial background, that I have multiple perspectives. So I'm able to tell a story from whomever's perspective I'm writing from. And that's really, really cool. It's another thing to look for if you hire a writer to do your book. Make sure that they're able to tell your story. They take themselves out of it. It's not about them. It's not about their opinion about what happened. It's about you. So you might, one person, very prominent person who hired me as a ghostwriter many years ago, actually asked for a sample. He asked me for a sample of my work. He sent me some stuff and he said, take this and write it as if you're me. And I did it. So they needed to see that I could remove myself from it and write it from their perspective. Likewise, one of our clients told us they had another writer they worked with once, and the other writer wrote the story from their perspective. And it was very much inaccurate because it wasn't from the client's perspective. It was from this person who thought they knew, you know, their opinion mattered. It doesn't. You need to hire somebody who's just this channel for you, this empty vessel that just lets the words, the story flow. We have the skills to do the writing with your content. Very important. So, 3 things to consider if you're writing your memoir right now: know your why, collaborate with someone or get the help you need. And third, make sure you include the voices of others and make it very conversational. All right. The event was beautiful. It was an honor to be the first selection of the Detroit Writing Room's book club that's going to have a different book every month of this year. And the authors all show up and people come and ask questions and hear the authors talk. And it was really, really an honor. So I hope you'll check out the Detroit Writing Room. They have tons of really amazing events like yoga for writers and all kinds of wonderful things that Stephanie Steinberg organizes. And I'm also a coach there. So if you need any help with a coach, a writing coach, she has coaches of all sorts. So no matter what you're looking for, if you're a photographer, if you're a podcaster, she has a coach for every cause. So please check out the DetroitWritingRoom.com. It's really a tremendous, beautiful asset. I think I started off saying that it exists partly because of the work that Mayor Archer did. So the street where it's located, it's in a really cool building. It's all virtual right now during the pandemic, but it's in this really, it's in a part of town that's been booming because Mayor Archer laid the foundation for stadiums and our football arena, our Tiger Stadium, our baseball arena. We have the hockey, we have all new stadiums, we have all new casinos, we have our Woodward Avenue downtown corridor is bustling with restaurants, stores, lights, lofts, apartments, all new development. The city center is just lit up with lights with an ice rink like Rockefeller Center. It's just spectacular. New restaurants, new people. It's you wouldn't even recognize Detroit if you came here after having been here when he took office in 1994. And after 2 terms, he laid the foundation that literally led to us being the comeback city of the millennium. It's remarkable. And places like the Detroit Writing Room exemplify the new energy, the new renovation, and all the rebuilding in the city that his work let the future begin. So, all right, wonderful. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins. This is Boss Up Goddess. And in the context of what I just said, bossing up means finding your calling, your purpose, your passion, and rocking it to the best of your ability. And the mission of this show is to help you find that power, find that purpose, break through the fear, break through whatever's blocking you, even if it's stuff on the inside of yourself, and really step up and out fiercely, fearlessly, so you can be the boss, the goddess, the powerful woman that you're born to be. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell so you know every time I go live or upload a new video. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and I wish you the best. So remember, boss up, goddess, you have the power. I'll see you next time.